Well, hello everyone, and welcome to a very wet, a bit chilly Victorian day, the 13th of October. Who would have thought 15 years ago, if you listen to Dan Andrews and his cohorts, when they decided to build a $4 billion desal plant that costs Melbourne water users over $600 million a year, even if no water is produced from it. Who would have thought it would ever rain again? Well, the Labor Party didn't, and that's what they were selling to build this desal plant. And now we know, 15 years on, that our dams, as of today, are over 92% full and continue to go. We're expecting more and more rain. The snow hasn't even melted on some of those Alps, and that's going to come and fill those dams. And yet, here we are, as Melbourne water users, spending over $600 million a year on a facility we don't even use. An incredible waste. But what would we expect from Dan Andrews and his donkeys? That's what they do. It's in the Labor DNA. Hey, let's just spend whatever. Let's do it on some crazy things like, I don't know, global warming, which 15 years down the track, their decisions were completely wrong. Much like they were wrong during the whole lockdowns. You know, Melbourne went from the world's most livable city to the world's most locked down city. Just think about that for a moment. 263 days in lockdown, which is about the working days of a year we were locked down in Victoria. And yet this guy still seems to get away with it. You know, it was only yesterday, on the 12th of October, I was elected to be United Australia Party leader for Victoria, as we run in the upper house seats, all 8 upper house seats, to be able to block Dan and his cohorts from making dumb decisions, which he constantly does. We want to bring those checks and balances in place, and we can't let this crazy continue. He's getting crazier and crazier. And of course, it didn't take long for the genius of the left, for the lefty cohorts, for the lefty keyboard warriors, those tough guys on the left, to come out and start calling me a thug, to start calling me all sorts of names. Well, you know, 8 years ago, more than, I was investigated by the Parliament and by the police, Department of Prosecution, and the Ombudsman. And guess what? I came out clean. After all their investigation, all the resources they threw at it, I came out clean with nothing to answer for. Nothing to answer for. All charges that they put against me were dropped. Now that shouldn't surprise people of today, because we've seen in the last 2 years people being arrested for no reason except they disobeyed Dan's orders. And he persecuted them as far as he could, where someone locked up for 22 days for not wearing face masks. This is crazy. And he put all his resources that he could against that. He used the police to be bashing up citizens, taking them out, dragging women out of cars, arresting pregnant women, putting pastors in jail. This is a man who the left want to call me a thug. This is a man doing thuggery in plain daylight. It's not even hidden. It's in plain daylight, and this is what he does to his citizens. He belittles them, he talks down to them. So you can call me what you want, but that's just words. There's zero proof of any of that. Yet he comes from a thug background. He's associated with a thug organisation, and he is a bully. It's time, Victoria, to tear that bully down. We can't have that happen in our lives again, where he will lock up our kids not going to school, where he will make us wear face masks, where he'll separate and call some people essential and other people he'll call non-essential, where he makes a economy and calls it the vaxxed economy, and doesn't allow other Victorians who choose not to be vaxxed to participate in the vaxxed economy. And now he's picking on individuals. Andrew Thorburn last week, where he criticised Margaret Court, where he yearly criticises come the Australian Open. He picks on women, he picks on men, he's a bully, and this November, the 26th, we need to vote him out, Victoria. Vote 1, United Australia Party in the upper house to protect our rights.